build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance. Hello everybody, welcome to Longbangers. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin. I thought you were going to forget what you were going to say there.
Do you know what I was doing, Colin? I noticed I set a timer, right, to give us a rough idea of where we were at on the podcast, so we didn't do a feature-length one, as we sometimes do. And I set it for, I think I have done it, set it for half the time that I meant to. And I just,
let's go with that.
It caught my eye as I was looking at it. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Aye, productive day today. Didn't go to football, so watched it. I didn't go, so it was productive. I didn't think I felt as shite as you did that went.
Aye, was a crowd of just over 8,000, and I tell you what a fucking
difference.
What it was? Aye, what a difference it makes for the traffic and the parking and that.
Aye, and about bulky it was the Raith Rovers fans would look at.
Aye, they did a really good support through. Very quiet though, other than when they scored.
It was very quiet at my house because the commentary was not working on the TV.
So could have got to be.
Didn't even have crowd noise. Like had like silence watching it. So it's quite funny because I thought, oh, this will be all right. But actually, the crowd noise would be better, even if it was no commentary. I could live with no commentary, but you still want the crowd noise, I think.
You probably had the sound up with the crowd noise on, to be fair. Like it was.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Weird, man. But what I did say to my daughter, I was sitting watching that, I says, this is all right, because we can now make our own decisions on if something's a free kick or not, because you're not hearing everybody moaning or groaning.
Aye.
Like being VAR. I was like being the VAR guy today.
The first half would have been, you might have picked up on a couple of folks snoring and that. It was, here's the thing, right, so I'm no long off Hibs net, right, so I came home, time I got back, stopped off to get a Domino's for, on the way back, right, for my dinner, come in, there's a wee post up on Hibs net about, is it time to get behind Lee Johnson, right? My point being that, and I include myself in this, right? So I'm thinking of the BBC column that I wrote last week was like, this could be a bad week for him if he gets knocked out and loses that lead in Europe and then loses to Raith Rovers. That could be the end of his time. Mm-hmm. But if folk put these conditions in, it's like a totally arbitrary. He has to win this game and that game, or he has to go. And there's like that sort of mood and some of the Hibs support online, at least. But each time we have these ones, like if we didn't get through the Andorran tie, you know, like if he doesn't,
he does, turn that around, and it just moves on, yeah.
And then what happens? But they just set like different parameters on. Well, now he has to do that one and that one, or he gets sacked. And I was like, right, he keeps coming through them, and you reach a point where you just go, listen, he's not going anywhere. Let's just get behind him, and you can still talk about whether he's doing a good job or a bad job, but let's not start making it after every defeat or every two defeats he's got to get sacked, right? Yeah. And I like I say, I include myself in that because I'm aware, like, can we have the conversations about it? We're as guilty as anybody else for driving that narrative. And I was like, well, and I think it is, where I was going with that is, see, in that first half watching the game, I was back in that, I'm fucking sick of watching this. Like, I genuinely bored out my fucking skull watching watching a team, and they had nothing about them in that first half, nothing at all. I don't know. Well, I suppose if you go to the starting lineup, what did you think of it, Colin?
Well, I thought it was quite attacking. The sort of the four strikers, if you like, or two wide attacking players and two up front. 4-4-2, we get messages in here saying 4-4-2 is the way forward. That's the answer to everything. If you're playing Boyle and Yuan White with two strikers, I mean, it seemed on paper to fit all of that. Like, so I'm not sure. Like, I get Newell was at the team, but you've got to rest him at some point, I guess. I suppose. Otherwise, although yeah, I mean, he's a fit fucking guy. Yeah, I don't know. The position he plays, though, you know, it is probably one where if anybody's getting rested, they probably run the most kilometres in a game, I would imagine. Busiest area of the park generally, so I get why he's rested. Not really got much backup in that position, so you're kind of left with the two that were in there. I think I'd said it in the group chat, well, what fucking else you got today? And it was like, well, Henderson, and I'm like, well, aye. Exactly. Aye. So it's I wasn't that surprised. I was glad to see Megwa getting a start. Mm-hmm. Heard a lot about him, seen him now and again in the development team, not for any great periods of time or that, but heard a lot about him. So I was all right with it. because I thought, well, we've got attacking, we're going to try and win it early doors, and then we can start taking Boylan that off. That was how it looked. We'll go in. But then I suppose if you were going to go with that, it was a sort of half roads attitude, because you might say, well, play fucking Newell as well then.
It's I suppose that's where the argument comes up with that team. Is I thought we set up weak with strength on the bench to come off and win the game if we needed to, which is how it panned out. I think I would have liked to have won the game first and then subbed folk off and done it that way. Would have made for a bit more a comfortable afternoon. But I agree. I think we're in trouble if we have to rely on Jago and Campbell as a midfield too at any point.
I said it the other night.
Aye.
Look, when Levitt got injured and Doyle Hayes is injured again, we need somebody else in. They need to get somebody else sorted. Whether it just be a short term sort of loan or something till Christmas, till Levitt's back, or I don't know how long Levitt's out.
Yeah.
But if it's a sort of short term till Christmas midfielder for somewhere down in England, then maybe that's what we need to do, because we've got nothing there. And these boys all pick up bookings regularly.
Aye. I think it's essential. And I'm quite glad it's happened when we've still got a bit of the transfer window left. I think there's still a couple of weeks, isn't there? So,
well, that'll be the end of the month, Sullivan days.
Aye. Aye. So there is still time to do something about it, and probably getting through to the next round in Europe has maybe given us a bit of money to do something there as well, because we're bare bones, like you said. Doyle Hayes being injured, Levitt being injured.
Yeah.
And if you want to rest Joe, Jago and Campbell or Henderson, if that's your three options, then.
And because the young lad, it was Murray Aiken and that, he looked good, but he's away on loan. He's not getting a game. I don't know if he's injured, but like these lads are away on loan, and that would be a mixed. I don't know who's in the under 8. Right, I don't know who's in the development team at all, right? And then you've got the under 18s who play. I don't know who in the midfield there would be ready to come, because I think the development team might be the boys on loan that can come back and play. I don't know. I don't know how it fucking works, right, properly. But the midfielder that looked good last season in that centre midfield position, he's went to Airdrie, hasn't he? With O'Connor.
Yeah.
As I say, I was looking at it yesterday because I saw O'Connor scored the equaliser. He was on the bench, and Aiken wasn't even in the squad. So I'm hoping he's injured, because I'd hope he was going to Airdrie and getting game time.
Aye.
But if no, I mean, it's not a great sign.
No, take that in the way it was intended. Like, you hope he was injured, as in that's the reason he wasn't playing.
Of course.
Aye. We're hoping he gets broken.
No, him. No, there's others that I wish they're injured. It's not him.
I thought Megwell was probably the only bright spot really in that first half. The rest of the first half was pretty forgettable pretty quickly, but Megwell did well while he was on.
I think we had a shot on target. Did we even have a shot on target in the first half? I don't think we did.
There's a couple that were blocked before they reached the goals. I'm never sure if they count.
I think the bookies didn't count them, I'm sure, because they do a payout.
Aye, because they're blocked. But, I never thought we looked in particular trouble. Raith had a couple of chances, like the Hanlon was short with a back pass, Campbell was short with a pass, and then Hanlon fucked up the clearance for it, and the boy went through. We were just like where the masses.
Sean made a save at one point. I'm not sure we did a save at one point. I think. Can't remember. I seem to remember he made a save.
He did when the boy tried to chip him.
Right.
If anyone watches this on YouTube, see me sort of
aye. Copy Marshall.
Aye, getting all excited.
Look like you were doing one of the things that spoke David are excited. Couldn't do that?
We should have
the sky.
If only the first half was exciting enough to get you in the mood to do that. So I probably wouldn't dwell much more on the first half. And I would say if you were looking for a bit of mitigation for it, I think Campbell's been playing with an injury. I know Johnson said he was going to ask him to play against Luzerne through an injury. He took a sore one there as well. So it's maybe harsh to say to point out that he had a bad game, and he did have a bad game. Jago didn't have a good game. They either covered a lot of ground, and we'll probably come on to his role in the goal that we conceded when we talk about that. But just that first half, even Boyle and Yuan did nothing in the first half as an attacking threat. They just weren't. They weren't really in the game. It was disappointing. Second half, Newell came on, and we looked a different team.
within a minute, within
Aye.
minutes.
Aye. How important is he to that midfield?
Well, I think it showed. Like within, I think it was about 46 minutes. He went on a sort of amazing run. He was knocking folk out the road like he was like a superhero or something at points. Kenny was like he was losing. It looked like a taking a shite touch, and the boy was favourite for the ball, and he was just run past them, and kind of like what you would expect, I suppose, a Premier League player maybe to do with a player that plays the league below.
Yeah.
Like he's stronger, he's more powerful, he's quicker. But the rest didn't look like that. Well, Yuan came on to Yuan done well, and you know what I mean. In the main, they didn't look like they were any better than the opposition. And I'm not meaning to be critical of Raith, because I know you've got a friend that plays for them. But what I mean is, we want to be a top 3 SPFL team, Premier League team, whatever the fuck the league's called now, right? And these boys are just they're not in the top 14. Yeah. So like we should be better, more powerful, stronger, all that stuff. But not enough of them looked like that today. And I don't know if it was the fucking Villa on Wednesday, I never got up, or fuck, I'm knackered for Thursday night, or that was a good night out in Switzerland on Thursday, or fuck me, Raith Rovers, there's no cunt in the crowd, or I don't know what it was, but they just didn't. But Newell instantly made a difference as soon as he came on. He didn't have that attitude.
He injected a bit of pace and urgency into the team. I think that was, we were talking about it in the stand about the one pace Hibs. I think we spoke about it last week? We were saying like we're a very one pace team, and we did it again today. But it was just like fucking hell, get out of first gear.
And it's mad that we're a one pace team when you've got players like Boyle and Yuan in there who are very fucking quick. Like I watched Man City Newcastle last night. I watched a couple of games. I watched the Tottenham game as well. And Man City game, I thought it was good to watch, but at times it was really quick right the game. But then at other, you're going, how have we got to keep this up for 90 minutes? They didn't, because at times they would just stop and think it about a bit, and then they would go, and it was like it was all impact sort of, or I can't think of the word, but it was all like sort of short sharp bursts of speed and pace. And then they would slow it down and keep the ball and then go for it when there was a gap or time where they'd created an opening. We didn't do that, eh?
No.
We just go the same speed all the time. Slow. Especially when a team comes and sits in like that. We didn't have any sort of urgency.
There were times we were better for it in the second half, but in the first half, the amount of times like we had a promising move and we stopped and went back or sideways, and you just needed that wee bit of direct running that Neil brought. I think he totally lifted the team, got us on the front foot, drove us forward, even just linked up. I think that was what was missing for the first half as well, that link between the forwards and the midfield just wasn't there.
Aye. He made such a difference, as we said, and then to the game.
And then we had a wee bit of pressure, got the goal. A good enough goal. The corner came in and Yuan scored.
Aye.
We had a bit of pressure by then.
I wonder, do you think was Dabrowski there under Johnson? Did Johnson release him?
Aye, he did. He put him out on loan.
Aye, of course he did. I couldn't quite remember. So, because I thought he obviously doesn't think he's very good under the high ball, because we were pinging a lot of crosses in the day. I know that was a corner, but it was almost like one of the tactics was chuck a high in upon him. If you look at the amount of crosses, just watching it on the telly, as I've said, I thought, fucking hell, they just keep fucking firing high ends up. And it could be because we played 2 up front, I don't know, and there's that temptation to chuck the ball into the box more often. But it felt like we threw loads of crosses, and I wondered if it was a sort of game plan.
Aye, I hadn't considered that, but it's got a good point, because he definitely would be a player that we would have a very good knowledge of his strengths and weaknesses.
And there was more crosses than normal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Today, I've not counted them up. I've not looked at the stats, but it felt like there was a lot more crosses than normal.
I don't think Dabrowski had a bad game. Really, he didn't have loads to do, and I don't know if he could have done better with the goals. Maybe the second one he could have done a wee bit better with, but so we scored, and then Johnson made the sub. No long after we scored, but he brought on Stevenson, and Miller took off.
Megwa.
Megwa and who else went off at that point?
It was one of the other ones. They went off at that point.
it
wasn't Hardball, was it?
No, it was.
Was it Obita? No.
No, Obita stayed on.
Boyle went off.
Oh, of course he did. Yeah, of course he did.
We're fucking terrible. We should really research stuff like
this. It's because we just watch the game, and I'm bad for trying to remember the chronology events, and I no one for details. Never been one for details, eh? So Boyle went off. I thought it was quite interesting seeing Stevenson and Obita on the left hand side. I can see that happening quite a bit this season, especially if we're needing to defend. But they were quite good at interchanging. So one time, for a bit, Stevenson would be left back and Obita would play further forward, and then they'd swap around, and Stevenson would be the more advanced of the two. I thought they worked quite well. Ewan definitely better on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And then we concede a fucking really bad goal. Again, one that we've caused ourselves. The ball gets passed into Jago, takes a heavy touch, loses the ball.
Yeah.
I think it's Stevenson and tries to make the challenge, doesn't get it right. And it kind of breaks quite kindly for the.
It was, that's exactly what happened.
For the Raith forward, and he tucked it away. I mean, no looking at any criticism on Marshall for that goal. There's nothing really he could have done with it.
No.
And when that happened, I was kind of like, fuck's sake, because we've been the better team in the second half up until then. And you thought Raith are going to get a proper lift for this, and it's probably going to be quite a shite next 25 minutes or whatever it was. But then we just go to get the park and score again. And it was kind of brought Vente on.
Did he came on straight after the goal, did he?
Right after their goal.
And came on for the plunger.
Yeah, pretty much scored with his first touch. But brilliant play from Miller and Ewan.
Yeah. On
the right hand side, Ewan feeds it into to Vente. He takes one touch, and I think it was just one touch, and then got shot away.
A touch and then hit it. I think Dabrowski maybe got sold because they assumed he was going to hit with the first touch. But he took the touch and the goalie's in, maybe gone down, and that's gave him the opportunity to knock it past him. So I took it well.
Good to see Vente on the score sheets. It's 2 goals in 3 games for him. 4 games because he played Motherwell, of course. Which is not a bad ratio. I think that's 1 and 2 was about what he was hitting. And
look at you minimising fractions and all that.
Bosh like that straight away.
2-4 into 1 and 2. That's really good.
Not just a pretty face.
Simplifying fractions, it's not minimising them.
There you go.
Just in case anybody was going to correct me.
And you know they would. And I thought Vente did quite well while he was on the park today. He was coming deep to pick up the ball, but quite intelligent with his use of the ball as well.
That's what Newell mentioned after the first game he played at home in the European game. That was what he said. Like we've trained with him twice or something, but he looks like he's got to have exactly that because he was the one that laid it off for Newell in that game. Remember?
Yeah.
The home leg. So, it looks like we've got. It looks no bad so far. Hopefully, he can start picking some goals up in the league because that's what we've got to need. But he started scoring at least. It's not like we're sitting here after 4 games going, "Mel's got a nice touch in that. If he can just get a goal."
Aye.
Like we do with every other striker. We seem to saying that doesn't score goals. Once he gets one, he's got to go on a run. Yeah.
Just needs a goal to get going. Aye. Well, Vente's got his goals and got going already. And I thought once they went to 2-1, we looked pretty comfortable. I think that scoring immediately after Raith had scored just took the wind right out their sails again. And
came it's like we've been on the end of it before,
Aye.
Like it was the same in the Cup final against Celtic. You barely stopped celebrating. You go, they fucking scored.
Aye.
You know what I mean? So it's one of them, It totally deflates the fans and the players are back to square one or -1.
Aye, and it gives you a massive lift as well. Like that's the other part of it is you've gone, well, that was a bit shit, but look, we've ended up on the right side of it. I suppose the only other really thing I kind of call out for the game was the red cards. No complaints. I mean, the boy was a dick.
He kicked him in the face. Yeah.
Aye.
Like I think it's pretty clear in the rules as far as I'm aware that it's a red card.
Yeah.
Aye, but I think you'd even need to be that. I don't even think you need to kick somebody full flush in the puss. Is what we've been told previously to get a red card. And like we go back to the Kilmarnock one back in February, whenever it was, winter time anyway. when we were sitting together that day, we were both surprised. I think that was a red card.
Aye.
But that one, the day he's got him. I mean, they had to go off, didn't they? I think he came back on.
Nah,
It was right at the end. But
it was one of these typical things like, oh, that's good, that's Raith down to 10 men. You go, no, so would we.
Okay. No subs left.
Aye, no subs left. So I wondered if they could have played a concussion sub, but then I thought,
if you did that, then it might be not available.
Aye, that was exactly what I thought. Is whether they thought, well, if we're doing that, then he's not going to be able to play on Wednesday night, so you'd probably be better just taking the 10 men.
Like that, eh? It should be like that. If he's concussed, he's concussed. Like, you know, it's poor. It's poor. But he did take it flush in the past. It just felt like he burst his nose, though.
Aye.
No, that means he's not concussed. Like, but
aye, it didn't look like, I kind of said a stupid thing to say, but it didn't look like a head knock that you'd get concussed from. So, like, it was more like a face knock than a brain injury. If that makes sense.
And I don't know how it works, but I guess if you burst your nose, then your head's taking a knock of some sort. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm not being smart. Like, I do know what you mean, but I don't know. If you get punched in the mouth, it's still your head, eh?
Yeah, but would you get concussed for a punch in the mouth?
Don't know. Ask a boxer.
Aye. If there's any boxers listening, let us know if you've ever been concussed for a punch in the mouth.
Yeah.
Maybe when
Josh Taylor listens.
Aye. Aye, Josh, you can tweet us. See, hopefully he's alright for Wednesday. Josh says it looks like maybe just a broken nose, he'll be alright. I'm like, if he's broke his nose, would he be alright for Wednesday?
No, you can't just tape it up, but it depends how sore it is. I think, like, I don't know. It depends how badly broken it is, because sometimes you break your nose and just leave it. Other times you break your nose and then you can break it back. So it depends how bad it is.
You get one of the Zorro masks on and that.
Aye. Well, but then it'd be one of the ones with the funny nose and the glasses. He would be like, because it's not just if you've broken your nose properly, like to get a reset and all that, you're not playing a Wednesday. No. But if you've broken your nose and it's a bit tender, you would say, "Fuck, I want to play Wednesday."
Aye. Right. Anyway, so safe passage, and then we've got St Mirren in the next round. Good draw, bad draw. What do you think?
It's decent. It's not the best draw because Rangers get that, obviously.
Obviously.
So once we realised, because I'd said before, I said, Livingston at home or Ross County at home was the two you would wanted, but one of them was going to Rangers, so you were hoping for the other one. But I'm glad, I'd say in Ross County, I'm glad that I never got what Aberdeen got. So I think Aberdeen and Hearts being away to two hard games is good, and I think us being at home to one of the other teams that isn't the Rangers, Aberdeen or Hearts or Kilmarnock is a good draw. I think it's a good draw.
It's a funny thing when you see like St Mirren and you go, well, I think they could beat St Mirren. St Mirren gave us obviously a good game and a bit of doing at East Road early in the season. I like to think by the time this game comes around, we're in a better place to.
A month's time, eh?
Aye, and we'll be out of Europe by then. You would imagine. So the Sunday Thursday thing doesn't impact it.
Ticked off away.
Aye. And we should hopefully have most of the players available. Vente will be available for that one, and so on. So you would hope we've got quite a good chance. Is the Rangers draw thing again, right? Now they must just be fucking lucky, right? I mean, I can't folk talk about heated balls now. I don't know if I can believe that goes on, really, right? But they must have had, like, seen in the last however many years, the number of home ties that they've had in cup games. It's fucking unreal.
We didn't do bad at it either, though. You know what I think, and I agree. Like,
this is true, by the way. Yeah,
they always seem to get an easy draw, right? But and Celtic's the same. Although Celtic seem to get more away games that are harder, easier, easy teams away from home.
Yeah,
right. But if you're Celtic and Rangers, most games are easy.
Yeah.
So actually, on the face of it, like, it's quite hard for them to get a hard draw. Because what is a hard draw to them? Each other.
Aye.
And then maybe away to Pittodrie, maybe away to Easter Road, depending on what mood we're in, and maybe away to Tynecastle. Or Kilmarnock now, maybe in the mix, because they beat them both this season.
Aye.
But there's no many teams that is a hard draw for them. Even if they got Hearts at home, or that's at home, that wouldn't be classed as a hard draw. Harder than normal. It's not hard.
Aye. No. I mean, they're beating us at home, you would expect. So, no, you're right. But then they do tend to get the least difficult.
They do. It's like on the seeding side, because that must have been number 7 or 8 seed the day that they got.
Aye.
if there was a seeding.
Yeah, so I think Ross County would have been the lowest, and then Livingston next lowest. You would have thought,
based on last season, but I don't know even this season if it would be. But
on last season, Kelly would have been there as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They've obviously had a good start to this season. One of the things that's been kicking about Hibs just on Kelly is McInnes is a potential replacement for Johnson if and when the time comes for them to leave. What do you think the thought of having McInnes in charge? Do you think, first of all, do you think he would come, and then B, if he would, what would you think about it?
I think he would, and I think he's a good manager. I just think you're about 2 defeats away from wanting him sacked because the football's shite. Because the football's shite. Like he doesn't. He sets up not to get beat, and it works quite a lot of the time. But when you do get beat, that's when we would turn. That's what happened with Jack Ross, wasn't it? And he wasn't even as negative as maybe a McInnes team because we scored 50 odd goals in the season that year. With Boyle and Nisbet and that up front and Deutsch. But if you lose a game and it's not very good, like your fan base doesn't like it, so.
But is it going to be like that forevermore with every manager now? Is that not just football fans in general that you're a game or two away from?
No, because we've got the Hibs way thing, haven't we? Hibs class and all that, and wanting to do it. I was listening to Tottenham last night, and they were talking about it because they've got Postecoglou who's trying to play football, and they're like fucking brilliant, even if we get beat.
Aye,
it's similar. We're like we'd rather get beat playing good football than win playing shite football at times.
Well, until it happens, until you keep losing.
Aye. Well, until you win playing shite football 3 in a row, but then you lose the 4th one, and you go. But these 3 games were shite too. Even though we won them, it was shite. And now it's shite because look, to all that shite that was happening in these 3 games that happened there and we never won. And so I don't know. We can only win the cups, right? We can't win the league. So then you have the argument is, well, do you just have good days out and you can beat Rangers and Celtic sometimes and play good football but no win all the time? Would you rather have that? Was that what we want? We're getting it in a different question, but
aye.
I don't know. Do you want it? And I guess it would come down to, well, if you finish with the same points at the end of the season, you'd rather play good football and have the points. But if you're going to finish, if Kilmarnock finish above us in the league this season, we're not even playing good fucking football now, so we can't even compare that.
No, we're not. But you can play good football and win, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like if you
get beat as well, but that's the thing. So it's like, would you rather what gets you the most points, or does that not matter?
I think it matters now, does it? Like I think so long as, and this is kind of the fucking perverse way that Scottish football is because you can't finish 1 and 2. Right, that's generally accepted, right? And although it's not impossible, it's fucking unlikely.
Well, we're only a few weeks away from Hearts, then they're looking up the table, they know. It's usually about October, they say.
Because they won that game against Rosenborg, they'll be talking about fucking Champions League next season, okay? But you've got that. So Hibs, Hearts, and Aberdeen, roughly the same size, roughly the same spend, right? Maybe probably at the bottom of the 3 run for it. So then you're saying if you finish 3rd, 4th, or 5th, that's an alright season. Mm-hmm. So you might as well play good football because the chances are if you play decent football, we'll finish 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Yeah. The worst thing would be finishing 5th or 6th and just playing shite football season because there's no joy in that at all. I mean, last season we did have a couple of highlights, didn't we? We had like the 6-0, we'd beaten Celtic 4-2 with the Derby win, even like the 2 late draws at the start of the season against Rangers and Hearts. You had those moments where they were good and some good football getting played, 4-0 or 4-1, whatever it was at Livy. A couple of big wins here and there.
Yeah.
But can you imagine like if the rest of the season was going to play out like the games against St Mirren and Motherwell and we'd lose a couple, win a couple? Fucking hell. I don't think I could take that, Colin. Like, I genuinely think I would be going, fuck this. Like,
listen, I think to answer the question though, like, I kind of grudgingly respect McInnes in that he's done a cracking job at Aberdeen. They were second, they got to cup finals, didn't they win? He got called a cup specialist on the telly the day, and I thought, how many's he won? Like, I don't remember one, but he probably got quite far in all the tournaments and got beaten finals and that. And in the same way that Hibs are maybe a cup specialist without winning one every fucking 15, 20 years. But over the last 10, 15 years, his teams have been shit to watch. It's been one of the worst games at Easter Road every time Aberdeen came down. So on that basis, that's maybe why I wouldn't want him. But I think he's a good manager and he would set us up and we wouldn't lose
I think
games.
If you look at some of his the problem with his Aberdeen teams, right, and we are, I think, skewed by the fact of how they played at Easter Road. Right, because at Pittodrie, I thought they played better against us and made a attacking. So maybe come to Easter Road and just let's get a fucking result here, which he did.
A bit more pragmatic.
I didn't hold the Rangers. If what we say, bottle it against Rangers and Celtic. I think any manager in Scotland that consistently loses to Rangers and Celtic isn't bottling it. They're fucking miles better than everybody. Right? I always thought that was a bit of an unfair accusation, because they were never close enough to them to know.
It's a strange one, that, because you remember the arguments when back to Ross was here, and it was like, well, is this now an expectation to be Rangers and Celtic? Like, has it ever been an expectation?
Crazy. But I think if you look at some of the Aberdeen teams that he had were very attacking and they played good football, scored a lot of goals.
Winners and all that. Yeah.
But then the team would get broken up. Like you'd have to sell them and then they start again. So maybe have like a couple of really good seasons, a shit season of rebuilding, and then go really good again.
Yeah.
I would take that. Well, at Hibs, I would say if it was just based on watching Aberdeen at Easter Road, I'd go fuck that. But if Hibs played like that at Pittodrie and won, and then battered Aberdeen at Easter Road, you'd fucking love that.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, I mean, it's all hypothetical. I don't.
You sacking Johnson again, mate?
No.
You just put me on the gun.
And I don't think McInnes would come anyway. And what makes me say that is I think he's on. I think he likes it at Kilmarnock, and if you go back to Rangers when they tried to get him when he was at Aberdeen and he was happy there and he knocked Rangers back, that's been an attachment to Rangers.
I think that was because he thought, fuck that, because I'm just getting set up here to be the man that loses 10 in a row.
Maybe. But I thought he was more of I always took it as a bit of a loyalty thing for all the good that he did him, but maybe that's a lesson learned for him as well, because he was like, it didn't last long after that until they fucking hounded him. So,
There's no doubt he was a good manager, like you know, and at our level, with he's no doubt he would come in and do a good job. It's just whether he would have the fans behind him.
Aye. Right, I'll quickly go through some listener questions. I actually forgot about his Colin. I was about to wrap up then just to give a score prediction for Wednesday night, and I was like, oh fuck, I asked for talking points. So that's handy, isn't it? Right, here we go. DJW said a lack of quality depth in midfield is glaringly obvious, along with left back cover and right wing. Hopefully, will be addressed. 3 to 4, I reckon, will be on their way with hopefully the same incoming. So 3 to 4 on the way out and 3 to 4 coming in. Do you think it's still that as big a rebuild as that needed?
I feels quite a lot that. I don't know who the 3-4 would get rid of unless we're paying folk off, because I don't think anybody wants them. Certainly on the wages they're on, you know, they wouldn't. So I think we need to get the Celtic fans to hype up Henderson again. To get that, because that was how not me, that's how we as a collective got sold on him, because the Celtic fans, based on the fucking 5 games he played for them or something, told us how good he was. But we definitely need midfielders. Left, we've got Stevenson and we've got Obita on the left. On the right, Yuan can move over to the right to cover for Boyle as well when you've got Obita on the left. So I don't know if you do need another one there or not. I think I'd be more comfortable if we got maybe 2 centre midfielders in.
I think that's the priority would be
maybe 2 centre midfielders, one who can also play it wide if need be.
Aye.
I think that would be all that was needed, really.
Jake Gapper said pretty good draw as we could have got for the next round. Yep, kind of just covered that. Jeff Ashton, Super Joe showing why he needs wrapping and cotton wool. I don't think the lack of protection for the fullbacks is causing the soft goals. It's individual errors. Fish, Hanlon and Stevenson, the main culprits. Cut out errors and we don't lose goals.
Jake of the day as well.
Aye. I think that's a fair point, really. The goals that we've lost this season have all been fucking
lack of concentration and stuff.
Bad ones, aye. Yeah. But if you think if the individuals no lost, like you say, lack of concentration, no lost concentration for those moments, but then they concede the goals. And maybe that's kind of symptomatic of the level that we're at and the type of players that we can afford. But you'd like to think
One
that's
of them's for Man
uncoachable.
United.
Well, that's true. That's true. Paraphrase image said, what do we need to do to stop losing soft goals? 5 league goals
Concentrate.
and 6 in Europe before today. Is it confidence? If we continue with Boyle and Ewan Wide, how are we protecting the fullbacks? Their job is at the other end of the pitch and neither is brilliant at coming back.
Does midfield need to be covering over in that, don't they, as well? Like, it's tactics stuff, don't know.
Tactics. I think if everybody just needs to do their job a bit better. I think that's sort of the fundamental thing of this season is we've on paper we're a decent team, and when we're failing, it's because we've got players not doing the basics right. Like you look at the Andorran game which we lost, it was players fucking not being able to make a 5-yard pass or kicking it right out the park. We've had the defensive lapses. At Motherwell, again, players not taking responsibility for getting on the ball and making something happen, and just. But I think if folk find their form and get a bit braver on the ball, then you didn't need to worry about protecting the fullbacks quite so much because they're not having as much to do and we're playing better as a unit. Alan Duncan said, heavy going until Joe Neill came on, was impressed with Harbottle and Megward with the usual graft from Deutsch. All in, we've gained a home tie with St Mirren and we have to be happy with that, although I am still getting over that woeful performance a fortnight ago. Glory to the Hibs. He says, JK1976 says, badly short of numbers in the middle with injuries to Levitt and JDH. We must add at least one, if not 2 midfielders to the squad before the window shuts. As if anything happens to Newell, we're up the creek without a paddle. Promising debuts from Harbottle and Megward, though.
Yep.
Harbottle, I would think of Harbottle today.
All right. Never really noticed them, so probably done all right. You didn't really want to watch your defenders too much, I guess.
I thought he did well, quite good coming out of defence with the ball and a few decent long passes as well. Tony Swanson says LJ's game plan was a good one. It was unfortunate that a mix of eyes on Wednesday and tiredness meant that he had to bring in more key starters than he wanted to. Newell was allowed to come forward and he did brilliantly. Venti showed his class. Good win, ground out. I think that last point's important, under the circumstances, all it was important today was getting through to the next round, and we did it.
That's right. Because that's it. That would have been another sort of thing to pin on Johnson if he'd lost today, wouldn't it? It would be well, we need to be villain. Otherwise, or we need to get, because the danger is, like I was going to say, to your point at the start, I totally agreed with. But if we get a heavy one in either of these 2 games coming up, or lose to Livingston in between, then he's fucking got to be. What can we want about then?
Aye. And the Villa one in the heavy.
Can he shake? He needs to shake that. We all need to collectively give him a clear. Stop talking about pressure on about result. No, there's pressure on results, but pressure on his job.
Aye, and I agree. I'm coming into that way of thinking. The Villa one is mental because the chance of that being a heavy defeat is fucking high. Somebody put a graphic up, and I can't really on about fucking how much everything costs, in the comparative wealth of clubs. Villa's starting 11 was something like 500 and something million pounds.
Yeah, and that's only 3 for McGinn. So, how much would it be if they paid what it was fucking worth?
That's an interesting. But you probably, we're chucking at least an extra 20 million onto that, and that's been conservative at English prices if they were selling another English club. So, Celtic are probably 60 million.
Celtic would, right? Villa would beat Celtic.
Aye.
So that's where we are. That's the time. And the danger is we take double figures over these 2 legs, and it's got to be like one of them where you can't survive that.
This is the point I was making. So the propensity for there to be a Malmo-esque result is fucking high, and it's not going to be the embarrassment that Malmo is. Villa are fucking they're miles and miles and miles ahead of where Hibs are. You look at what Liverpool did to Rangers, right? Was it 7-1 or something at Ibrox? 7-9, 7-1. Villa can easily do that to us in both the games, and then I wouldn't say that as a reflection on the players or Johnson or anything. I think that just fucking shows that Villa can go and spend 500 million on a squad and we can't. Livy's a different story, but we'll face that one when it comes, I suppose. Right. Sideshow Bob said that's Kilmarnock beat Rangers and Celtic in the last few weeks. Is McInnes a man to replace LJ? Good question, Sideshow Bob. I think we've covered that. Elston Loon said, was there a penalty in the first half? Looked like Raith defender stuck out his arm and flapped the ball away, but I think I was the only person in the area I was sitting in that shouted for it, so I may have been making it up. I thought it was a handball, but on our group chat, somebody said it kind of was deflected onto his arm, and it would have been harsh. What did you think?
It was really hard to tell on the telly. His arm was up, and it hit. I'm sure it hit his arm. I actually don't know if it hit his arm or not because I never got a good enough replay. It looked like it was going and hitting his arm. I don't know. He was kind of maybe facing the other way, and I don't know if it took a deflection. Don't know. And I think if VAR wasn't on the day.
No, we could have had it on though because Rangers had it yesterday. Obviously,
for
them
okay.
for them to get the penalty. I think you need both teams to agree to it, and Hibs and Raith just agreed that they wouldn't have it today. But I shouted for a penalty, and I thought it looked like a stone.
I can see why you would have. I would have thought we shouted for it.
But you go on. I need to watch it back. Also,
it's hard to tell. I think. Certainly on Hibs TV pictures, it was hard to tell.
Also for Elson Loon said Jago and Campbell were awful today. I usually defend Campbell and think Jago disrupts things well most of the time, but they were shocking today. The midfield too just didn't work. I mean, whether it's a tactical thing or they're too similar or fucking just no good enough, whatever rationale you want to put behind it, it was dreadful. JPJ White says, which knee jerks first, the left or the right? That's life of a football fan, isn't it? Like if you're not having a knee jerk reaction, you're not doing it right.
That's right.
That's half the fun. Billy McCohen said that first half is brutal to watch. Had to force myself to stay for the second half, but Super Joe Newell is a driving force in our team just now. Get him on a new deal ASAP. Now with a couple of weeks left in the window, Colin, are we at risk of losing Joe Newell? Like have his performances put him in the shop window?
Possibly. I don't think so. I think he seems to be. I'm not can't remember what age he is, but he's late 20s, early 30s maybe now.
Maybe that late 20s, I think.
I suspect he's maybe settled in the city and he's just quite happy to be on a good wage, which he'll be on, and depends where his wife works and all that as well.
Well, I think he likes the golf courses and that around here as well. I think if there was a risk, I'd like to think that we would get him tied in on a new deal. He definitely would have deserved it. I think he would stay unless it was like a super offer.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know how much a bigger club he would go to either. I don't see Celtic and Rangers chapping the door. So it's down south, and then I don't see what. It'd just be money, wouldn't it?
Well, no be a Premiership. Like he's not. I don't think he's Premiership level. So then it's Championship.
We'll see on Wednesday if he's Premiership level. I guess.
We'll see him just ragdolling McGinn about the place.
Aye.
Dave said the League Cup just got exciting. Can Hibs win it now that Celtic are out?
We could have won it when Celtic were still in.
Well,
but it is better that one of them's out. So hopefully, the other one's out.
The expression is it's blown it wide open, hasn't it? Like they've got that chance to do something with Celtic being out there because they're the clear favourites. Although Kelly now must take that mantle, having put them out. Colin McGuinness.
Well, the Rangers haven't.
Fucking Rangers. Said this is our 7th competitive game in 24 days. We're coming up against a Premier League side in Europe and into the quarterfinals of the Cup at home. When things calm down, folk will be like, aye, maybe we were being a bit mean and hasty with our opinions about this Hibs squad.
Maybe.
Like a nice bit
of perspective on things. And it's probably true because, like what we're saying, we're in the quarterfinals of the Cup. We've got further in Europe than we've been in many years. I say that it's not as high a tournament, but we're further in, like playing in September, not quite in September, It'll still be August. Because that's when I count Europe as being started, when the nights are getting a bit darker and that, like in the lights are on, rather than the summer. But we're further in than even maybe Lennon's got in the tournament, so you got a lot of plaudits for that. So maybe it will be all right. I just think no picking any points up in the league's what's making it worse. If we even had 2 out of 6, it wouldn't feel as bad.
And I don't know if it's because of who we were playing, but
exactly the start we got as well. It's not like we've chucked a Rangers or a Celtic in there,
but it's still like I think the Monroe Open last season with Rangers and Hearts, and like you say, there's only 2 points of difference for the start of last season. When you look at it like that, you go, it doesn't feel quite as disastrous as it seems, and it's only 2 games. Like one on Sunday, and we'll see, or on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. The Rebel Hibs said we're all hoping for a few more bodies before the window closes, but what do you think we should reasonably expect? Do you think the club is waiting for Doig to move before signing anyone else? That's an interesting one as well, isn't it? Like Doig.
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 To get selling.
Mm-hmm. So the potential is still a windfall to come.
Honestly, I'm sick of hearing about fucking selling fees and that. Like, we can't bank on them. We can't guarantee them. Like, we're still waiting to begins one. We're never going to get.
No.
Let's just, like, if it's a bonus if it comes. We can't actually base our window dealings around somebody maybe getting sold and then never getting sold. So it's like getting a bonus at your work. If you get it, can get one. Enjoy it.
I tweeted there when we got through, so it's like it's only fair for Villa to kind of appreciate how much they underpaid us for McGinn and just wave us through to the next round there. If you're listening, that's Villa. It's the only decent thing you could do,
and it's still not enough.
Exactly. Scott Weir said how crucial was Joe Newell to us. Thought the only control we had in the game was once he came on.
It's funny how much he's turned on that. Because it was only this time last year we'd probably fucking get him out. Emails, text coming
in. Dave Evans said Joe Newell for captain, Ben Campbell, Hanlon and LJ. Harbottle looked decent today. Venti super sub to the rescue. We still look ropey and feel new manager would drill this team into a winning mentality and better tactics. Having listened to your podcast with L. Stevenson. And JXM73 said, name midfield, need a level replacement. Surely City Group have a list of available players. Interesting after what Johnson was talking about at the start of the window about kind of taking advantage of the relationship with City Group and that absolutely nothing materialised from that. So maybe there is still something to happen there. Not in terms of a takeover or that, but just in getting a fucking player in.
Yeah.
Right, prediction for Wednesday night, Colin?
I think we'll lose. But I don't think it'll be heavily.
Putting your neck on the line there, eh?
3-1.
3-1? Oh, get a goal. Right, who's getting our goal?
McGinn.
Right. For all time's sake.
But maybe a Hanley for a corner or something.
I think
Fish is quite handy getting on in this stuff.
I think we'll be maybe a 5-0 defeat.
Yeah.
I think we'll be celebrating getting out of our half.
Are we playing Social Relief at the end?
That's it. We'll fucking take it if we escape by that. No, actually, I was joking with my dad, or Dad was joking with me about it. He said, like, fucking, well, you never know, you could do it. Like, there's been bigger shocks than football.
Well, Celtic beat Man United.
That was and to beat Barcelona. Those were the examples that I used. Like in the Barcelona team that Celtic beat were fucking good.
And it was fucking Tony Watt that scored the winner.
Aye, so, right.
That doesn't tell you.
So it's no beyond the realms of possibility that we could take something for it, right? Unlikely over the 2 legs, but you just fucking never know. Like every dog has its day in football, and you just never know. And of course, we'll all go there hoping for it to happen. Yeah. My heart says you've got that wee like sort of puncher's chance, but my head is like, we'll get pumped.
We say we'll all go. I'll be in the fucking 5 o'clock queue in the morning like all the other daft cunts that didn't think about logging on early and breaking the system that they couldn't get set up right. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm there watching.
Well, best of luck. Best of luck. This just proves we didn't get any favours for the club, by the way. Like that, we're in this in the same boat for.
If they were going to fuck up the validation in the system, they could at least tip us off.
Aye, that's it. I'm alright. I got season ticket seats like that.
I've not got one this year for reasons.
For reasons.
But I'm going to be in this boat fucking regular. Well, hopefully there'll not be any more fucking big games after Wednesday though.
That's it. That'll be the end of them. Right. So just before we wrap up, there is still the chance to win hospitality for Livingston and the Pioneers with us next week. So if you look on our Twitter, you'll see a pinned tweet. You need to follow us and sign up for Leith Spirits newsletter. That's to celebrate the launch of their new gin. So you get hospitality with us and a bottle of gin.
We'll have a gin on Saturday.
Whatever. We'll do it. We'll have that and we'll try and report back. And also the Community Foundation are still looking, I think, for people to take the circle, I can't remember cover, the semicircle cover with the big cinch advert on it out. So I think they were looking for 10 folk to volunteer to do that for the season. But if you do volunteer, you get a free season ticket for the rest of the season. So,
which still wouldn't be used to me, because the reason I've not got a season ticket is that I can't always go. So there's no point. And if I can't be there to carry the wee fucking hangout, then
well, there's no point you volunteering for it. But get in touch with the Community Foundation if you're interested in that. We're about to record extra time. The topic for the night is about league reconstruction. Right? So obviously Hibs have been Sunday, Thursday. We're now going to go Sunday, Wednesday into one of the biggest games that we're likely to play in fucking years. And somebody had asked a question on Hibs.net, and I'll give them credit. Give me 2 seconds. I'll find the thread, because I think it's only fair if we're taking it as a talking point to give the person the credit for the idea. I thought it was a good. Oh, here we go. It's way down the page. But it was one day maybe when Hibs.net asked about it. So I think Lee Johnson and Stephen Naismith both were talking about giving the teams the best possible chance in Europe. So we'll have a look at the setup now and whether the league could make that better for its representatives and see what ideas we've got. So if you want to listen to us talk about that, you can subscribe from £2 per month, or if you want short bangers as well, you get that for £3. Just go to our Twitter profile, click on the wee link, and it takes you a couple of minutes to set up if that. Right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your talking points, folks. We'll see you next time. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.